Okay, so it seems like all hell broke loose in my garden. Wie was dit? Wat gaan aan? Bruno? Wat is die? Wat is die? Oh. Wat is die? Wat het jy gedoen? Wat is dat? Bucks? Wat gaan nie aan? Kom Bucks. Oh, guess who's guilty, né? And who killed the teddy? Huh? Het jy die teddy doodgemaak? Who killed the teddy? I wonder who's really guilty, but it is my fault for not taking it down after the demonstration. At least those ones are still standing. Yesterday was Mother's Day. My wife and son were out to visit her mother, and my daughter was at work, and I was in the office editing. Yeah, so I guess the boys had some unspent energy in them and felt a bit neglected. So they did what any dog would do and find something to play with. But it is my own fault. I should have taken it down after the demonstration. I mean, there's nothing planted here, so I should have taken it down. I have to take it down if I want to plant. But yeah, I was a bit lazy and paid for my laziness. So quick cleanup and then I'm into the garden. Okay, so I'll let the eggplant overwinter here on my wife's desk in the office. I'll still bring my paprika pepper in and maybe a few other things as well that I want to overwinter. I tried to tell you this story outside in the garden, but unfortunately my neighbor is also working in his workshop today, which is right next to my garden. Yeah, so it's a bit noisy. Yeah, I appreciate him. He's providing for his family and, God bless him. Let him work. So I decided to just move indoors to actually tell you the story. I find it very funny. I had tasted eggplant just twice in my life before. The first time was about 25 years ago in Cape Town when a friend of mine prepared it for me. And this friend happens to be vegetarian. And to be honest, the way she made it wasn't half bad. It was actually amazing. And then again, for the second time last year, when I harvested an eggplant from this very plant that I also had indoors over winter, and then I prepared it in what I believe is the same waste that she did, and that was to basically slice it up, rub it with salt, let it stand a while, and then to fry it in butter. And that was also not half bad. But that is the extent of my culinary experience with eggplant. Now, I know that you can relate that sometimes your body will crave something and you'll taste everything in the kitchen, taste everything in the pantry, but you just can't figure it out. And you're left standing there for hours thinking, I'll know what it is when I taste it. So the day that my wife and I went to visit our municipal fresh produce market was one of those days for me. Well, actually a couple of days before. Going up and down the aisles at the market, I stumbled across this big boxes of eggplant, and somehow I convinced myself that that is what my body desired. My body craved eggplant. Okay, not to mention that a couple of days prior, I watched Jessica from Roots and Refuge Farm on her other channel, The Farmer's Table, make a dish called baba ganoush. I mean, the baba ganoush that she made looked amazing, and she used it as a dip, and I imagined that would taste awesome. So there I was at the market, staring at these massive boxes of eggplant as if it held the answer to life's greatest mysteries for me, and I could almost hear it whisper, "Take me home, Lucas. I'm what you've been looking for." So naturally, I bought not one, but 2 boxes of these eggplants, because not only were they on a massive special, but when you're chasing a craving epiphany, moderation doesn't make it to the equation at all. My wife just gave me this look that said, I hope you've got a plan with all those eggplants. But I was already dreaming of culinary glory, thinking that I will make this dish that just rocks everybody's world. So my plan was to make a colossal batch of baba ganoush that I can then can and keep in the pantry, and every time my body craves for eggplant, I've got baba ganoush on hand that we can enjoy with homemade corn chips or as a spread on shawarmas or tacos. So armed with only my enthusiasm, optimism, and 2 massive boxes of eggplant, I set out on this culinary adventure. So fast forward a couple of days, I had the eggplant roasting in the oven, feeling like a master chef. This part is the part that I still remembered from Jessica's video. I felt confident, but as any seasoned cook knows, the kitchen is where dreams meet reality, and reality have a way of humbling one. So roasting them seemed simple enough, and when the eggplant was roasted to perfection, the next step was to remove the pulp from the skin and then to mash or blend it. It seems easy enough. It's like making mashed potatoes. But then I couldn't remember the rest of the ingredients, so I went back to YouTube and pulled up Jessica's recipe and quickly followed along. So the next key ingredient was tahini. Now what the hell is tahini? So I quickly searched for the mystery ingredient on Google, and basically it is sesame seed butter. It's like peanut butter made from sesame seeds. So a quick trip to the grocery store will quickly solve my problems, right? Wrong. When I asked a staff member where they keep the tahini, they looked at me as if I asked for unicorn milk. Let me quickly remind you, our small mining / agricultural town isn't a great big hub for exotic pantry items. So on the one hand, I was a bit frustrated that they didn't have tahini, or didn't even know what tahini was. But on the other hand, I felt so relieved because I'm not the only person born under a culinary rock. So I returned home with no tahini and a big batch of roasted eggplant that I didn't know what to do with. Then I had another light bulb moment. Moussaka. I've seen or heard about moussaka, and I know that it is also a dish made from eggplant. So I quickly looked up a recipe as well, and yeah, it's a dish made by layering eggplant, then with a meat sauce, topped with a bechamel sauce. One could almost say it's like a eggplant lasagna, but instead of pasta we use eggplant. So I figured I could pull that off. My family loves lasagna. I've got this eggplant that I need to do something with, so let's make a dish that everybody will then enjoy. I mean, eggplant lasagna, what can go wrong? So I dove into this recipe with new hope. My daughter Michaela made the perfect bechamel sauce. It turned out smooth, creamy, and rich. I mean, a culinary miracle by itself. Michaela just knows how to do it. The meat sauce was flavorful, not disappointing at all, and I even managed to somewhat slice the roasted eggplant into manageable slices, and I packed them into a pan kind of resembling layers, and then I assembled my moussaka dish like a master craftsman. Layers of eggplant with the meat sauce and then the bechamel sauce, and it seemed to come together beautifully. So I slid that tray into the oven, confident that I was about to deliver an eggplant masterpiece. The timer went off and I pulled out the trays. It actually looked appetizing. It smelled amazing, but as we dished up, disaster struck. The eggplant was nothing but a gooey, slimy mush. It was a culinary abomination that I can only describe as a snotty lasagna. My first bite, my stomach just retaliated and said, no bro, I'm not accepting that. We tried to salvage what we could. We scraped the meat sauce and the bechamel sauce off of the eggplant, and that was amazing. That was still delicious. But the eggplant, not even my dog Bix would touch it. Now, one knows how badly you failed as a chef when an adopted mutt that you rescued from death row at the SPCA smells the food you gave him, looks back up to you with a look of both disappointment and disgust. I swear, I could almost hear him think, no bro, I'm not eating that. I mean, it's like adopting Oliver Twist. You know Oliver Twist, please sir, may I have some more? It's like adopting Oliver, taking him home, giving him a home-cooked meal, and he's like, please sir, I don't want some more. Yeah. So the eggplant mush ended up in the compost heap, and I took the remaining trays of this no-bro moussaka and we put it into our deep freezer to deal with later. A few days later, it was my turn to cook again. Opened the fridge, saw the no bro moussaka there, and inspiration struck again. I decided to rebrand this disaster. So I took the frozen mess, scraped it into a large pot, added some vegetable stock and some soup veggies, and stirred it together, and lo and behold, out came moussaka soup. Okay, it wasn't at all what I planned to do with the eggplant, but let me tell you, it actually came out quite amazing. Garnished it a bit and served it with bread. My no-bro moussaka turned into go-bro moussaka soup. So here's a lesson that we can learn from it. Creativity in the kitchen isn't about perfection. It's about rolling with the punches and finding humor in your failures. And when life gives you failed moussaka, make moussaka soup. And again, next time, make sure of your ingredients and stock up on tahini when you can.